good. Lovely. So welcome everybody to today's Trust Board meeting held in public. It's part two of our last meeting in terms of its only item, which is the approval of the annual report and accounts. But we'll just go through the rest of the particulars before we get on to that. So first off, we do have some apologies from Leslie, obviously not from Anthony because he's here, great, or Jackie, Caroline, Ruth Crowley and Linda Story. I don't think we have any others. So does anybody have any conflicts they need to declare with respect to the agenda today? No, good. So let's go to the substantive item then, which is the approval of the annual report and accounts. And is that you, Nick, or Mike?
Yes, please. Yeah, I'll thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chair. So we'd like to recommend that the board adopts these accounts, please. And Michael, just summarise some of the highlights in what are actually a strong set of numbers. And then Sue will kindly give us some comments on where the audit's at, which is ever so close to being finished. So Mike first, please.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Afternoon, everyone. So just some very brief numbers. So for 21-22, we've reported a financial surplus for the year of 7.7 million. That's versus 2021 of a 6.1 million deficit. The number that we report to our regulator is a 0.5 million deficit in year, and that's versus a 7.4 million deficit last year. There's just a list of things that we exclude from one to the other, so there's comparability between trusts. On the balance sheet, or the statement of financial performance as it's called, the most significant movement in numbers is the value of our fixed assets, and that's reflective of the really good investment that we've had over the last 12 months through our capital programme in things like ED, critical care, and modernising our imaging, our diagnostic imaging capability. So some really good news in there. Just in terms of the audit, before I hand over to Sue, like Nick said, making really good progress. Two minor issues, one around some wording on the letter of rep and one around a third-party assurance on the Condition B survey related to our PFI, but they're the only two real issues outstanding and we expect them to be sorted. So I'll hand over to Sue.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nick. Colleagues, I speak on behalf of the Audit Committee. Our auditors have undertaken an, as usual, very rigorous and detailed audit, resulting in the audit opinion that they have provided to us in the annual report and accounts that you have been issued with. It remains draft until they conclude those small minor points that Mike has just alluded to, but be assured that they would not have issued it at all had they felt that it could change in any material fashion, and more importantly, had they felt that the accounts would need to change in any material fashion. So as Nick had said, we can offer these accounts to you for approval. I just want to highlight a couple of things. They issue an opinion, and the nirvana of audits is that you get a clean audit opinion with no qualifications. That is not a circumstance that BHRUT has enjoyed in previous years for a number of reasons. But this set of accounts, we only have one qualification, which is a carry forward of a technical qualification from last year relating to their inability to undertake stock takes during COVID, and therefore is a qualification on the comparative. We have no qualifications in year, and that also includes the removal of the historic qualification relating to going concern, which is fantastic, actually. And I think we should note that no longer are we being, talked about in terms of not being a potential going concern. So that's fantastic. So nearly a clean audit report, and if everything stays the same next year, we will have a clean audit report because the comparative qualification will also disappear. So that leads me to the last thing I wanted to say, which was it's been a lot of hard work for our finance colleagues, for our company secretarial colleagues, and for our auditors who do take a very rigorous approach to audit. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in getting the accounts to us today. Really well done. And my aim is that it is even better next year. So it'll come as no surprise. We will do a lessons learned as we do every year to see what we can improve. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sue, for that and for the work that's gone into reviewing the accounts and the report. And are there any other questions or comments that anybody would like to make at this point? Marta.
Sue and colleagues on the executive, it's really good news to hear the outcome of the annual audit and to see the report. Thank you very much for that. Just wanted one confirmation, which is a letter of representation that we need to ask our chair to sign on our behalf to the auditors. Are there any non-standard clauses in that letter of representation, please? Thank you.
Sue or Nick or Mike?
Yeah, probably Mike, if it's okay.
Yeah.
There is one.
Yeah, the one thing that we're working on the wording for, Marta, is around the valuation methodology for the buildings. Now, as a public sector, we're told which approach to use. It's just about the indices that the valuer has used. So there's just a bit of to and fro between the valuer and our auditor on some wording around that.
Thank you.
Anthony.
I always remind you to be gentle with the medic asking a financial question, but I am struck. It was great to hear. First of all, congratulations to everyone getting to this place. Great to hear about the investments and issues relating, for example, to the ED. Presumably, some of those are once off. What does it say about the underlying financial health in terms of predicting what things are going to look like next year if we're unable to repeat those things this year?
Yeah, thanks. I'm really happy to take that. So we are running with about a 6 million underlying deficit, Anthony, at the moment. So there's been lots of extra money put into the NHS over the last couple of years through COVID funding. We still have that underlying issue, and that's why we want to take out the waste in our workforce premium and elective recovery. So we've just had a riveting FIC focused on just that. So we do need to carry on trying to take the waste out.
So we need to be just a little bit careful not to be too complacent coming out of that, because we've got some nice things that have gone on. Thank you very much.
That is a fair point, Anthony, and of course we remain in soft for one of the reasons for which being our financial position. So there's been some really good work, but there is clearly a lot still to be done in terms of financial recovery. I don't have any other questions. Nobody else identifying that they want to ask a question at this point. Good. So thank you very much to everybody for the preparation and work that's gone into it, and even more significantly, the planning and the work that is sort of manifest in the figures. So that's Nick and Mike and your team, and the Audit and Risk Committee and the Finance Committee as well. Thank you for your efforts, which, as we've just discussed, will be ongoing in this. And I will take that as approval of the board for the annual report and accounts. Is there any other business that anybody needs to transact today? I don't believe we have any members of the public present, but if there are and anybody wants to ask a question, now is your chance to shout. No? Okay, good. Well, thank you, everybody. Probably just worthwhile saying to the board, on Friday we will be welcoming some local MPs and representatives from Redbridge in particular to King George's for the official opening of the ITU there. So that will be very good event and evidence, Anthony, of the result of some of that capital investment that we've just been talking about. Good. Okay, thanks everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.